Alright guys, so we've got some more information on the Zino Mini Pro. This is the most bizarre pre-product release I've ever seen, but the more I do see, the more I'm getting alarm bells. So let's share some of them today before you go out and buy this drone at the moment. So they've just announced that we're going to be getting a live stream in June, the 5th of June. So that's going to be exciting to see, and hopefully we might be able to see some actual real-time images and flight performance of this drone and a bit more details. So first alarm bell, the flight time 40 minutes sounds fantastic, but look at the brackets, windless at 25 kilometers an hour. So that means that drone has to be flying at a constant speed of 25 kilometers an hour to get a flight time of 40 minutes. So what does that mean? So if we just look into a bit more detail, so that means at a constant speed, you're going to have to be flying at 16 miles per hour or 6.9 meters per second. Let's just compare that to the Mini 2. This is now a screenshot from the DJI Mini 2 spec page showing 6, 10 and 16 meters per second. So just remember, 40 minutes of flight time is 6.9 meters per second. So that means to get 40 minutes of flight time, you're going to have to be flying at 6.9 meters per second, which is just above the speed of the Cine mode. So that means to get 40 minutes of flight time, you're going to have to be flying in the same equivalent of Cine mode all the time on the DJI Mini 2. Who does that? I certainly don't. So if you fly in normal mode the most, then you're not going to get anywhere near to that 40 minutes of flight time. That is a marketing spiel. 25 kilometers an hour is absolutely so slow. That's for Cine mode, that's for your cinematic pans and shots. That is not for normal day-to-day flying. So on paper that looks good, but actually when you look at the actual spec in a bit more detail, it's not. That means that 40 minutes of flight time is going to be nowhere near that. To be honest, I wouldn't even say it's going to be much more than 20 minutes of actual normal flying. There, then advertisement then says really. So yeah, that's definitely really. And then it also goes on to say too good to be true, which at the moment it possibly could be. You know, we're not getting any main facts about this drone. Any of the actual pictures and photos just seem to be really bizarre. One of the photos from the far distance here is a shot actually which I found last year taken on another drone. So it's really weird, this whole setup. But there's a few other things as well. A couple of good points I do like from features, we'll just say, and then another problem that I can see relating to this drone as well from their marketing. So let's get into one of the bits I do like about it. And if it does turn out to be well, then great. But this needs to be good. There's no point having all these features on paper and then the drone is useless. So it's not looking good so far, and I really am cautious, especially to anyone else buying it until it's available out there. So let's have a look at this now. So they're bringing out their own Hubsan care. This is going to be $59 for the year and then $249 to replace the drone. So it's very similar to the DJI Care. We can tell from this spec sheet here, it looks like in the top right hand corner they're bringing out a charging hub. So that's good that you can charge multiple of the batteries on the go as well. So that's nice to see. The drone looks really similar to DJI Mini 2, and then the controller we'll get to. But it's good to see that they are providing some kind of care plan as well, albeit at $249, which, you know, it could be good. So make sure if you're going to actually get this drone, I probably would advise getting that care plan. But let's look at some of the other features which have been advertised and then we'll move on. You are going to be able to do a live broadcast as well, like a live stream when flying. So that's going to be great, something we can't do at the moment on other drones. And then if we just look at this shot here, this seems to be the actual interface of the flying app when you're going to be flying the drones. Let's just pause this here and we'll try and look at this in a bit more detail. So you can see in the top left corner it says Zino Mini Pro, ready to fly. It looks really similar to the top bars where it shows you your satellite lock, your battery percentage, normal mode. And then in the bottom left hand corner we've got that compass. It seems to be an attitude indicator as well. So that's really similar to the DJI Mini 2. So from looking at this, it looks quite a decent interface. You can see on the right hand side the option to use a memory card to access your files in the bottom right hand corner, switching from photo to video. Seems to be a settings button above that. So it looks to be pretty much spot on to the DJI one, which we all love. So from looking at this interface, it does look good. That needs to be fast, it needs to be non-glitchy, and it needs to perform well, but time will tell. But that looks good, along with that feature of being able to do a live broadcast. I think a lot of us will like to do that. Just when you're out flying, we can actually show live when flying through this, and it seems through the settings of how they demonstrate it that you can just quickly click onto YouTube, log in, and then you can do a live broadcast of what you're actually doing. So that's good. That feature there looks good. It needs to perform well, but I do like that feature, so well done there. This next shot shows the ability of sharing your video direct, so something similar to what we're used to now, but if we can see that this going to be a shot from the drone or not? So if once you go into gallery, you can click on your shots. It looks like these are taken all with the drone, so that looks nice, but again, it's really unclear. And then this is just demonstrating that you can share it direct and then either airdrop it or email it to somebody or directly put it onto YouTube. But on the actual product website, we can see now that they have added the controller onto the actual pictures as well. Now the controller, to be honest, I don't like it. It looks very similar to what we had years ago with the Mavic series, the DJI Mavic Mini, and pretty much every other drone manufacturer out there which had fairly decent drones, all had a really similar setup to like this, where you've got the antennas on the top, the screen in the middle. It just looks a bit dated now in 2021, and with all the tech and speculation from this drone being brilliant with its sensors and its flying performance, we just would have liked to have a better control than this with the antennas, them huge antennas on the top of it. We're used to built-in antennas now, something better. So with that controller, I don't like the look of it. If it's good, then fair enough, but it looks really similar to what we had years ago. So sometimes everything you see on paper might not always turn out to be as good in real life. So we are looking forward to this live stream in just over a week, and then hopefully they should give us some more details about this, because it is really vague. You know, most of the time we don't hear, we just hear rumors, and then we actually hear from the company and then go, right, this is out next week. It still haven't got an official release date, so hopefully they might announce one next week, but you can buy it direct on the website. And at the moment, I probably would err of caution about doing that, because at the moment you're having to pay the full amount on the website to get this drone, potentially $459 for the starter package, and we still don't know when this is going to be released and if it's any good. So until we can actually get this in our hands and test it, it is a risk. Although the technology does look phenomenal, and if this performs well, then DJI are going to be having a problem, definitely. But it needs to be good. Them sensors need to work. The software needs to work. That 40 minutes of flight time, that's going to be nowhere near that, as we've discovered today. The camera and the video quality need to be up there. They are fighting and competing against the top dog, so it needs to be good. At the moment, we just can't actually tell. If DJI was to release a DJI Mini 3 really soon, like we're seeing rumours and we're seeing new pictures pretty much every day, we know that's going to be good from the past experience from flying, especially the DJI Mini 2. We don't know that currently with Hubsan Mini Pro. We don't know what it's going to be flying like. Is it going to be a competitor, or is it not? Is it just going to be all on paper marketing material? So what I would do is I would hold off. I wouldn't buy it directly on the website personally, and I haven't. And I would wait until this is actually formally released, and then you can get it with an actual release date. At the moment, I'm just not seeing too much of a difference between the Hubsan Mini Pro and the DJI Mini 2, aside from if them sensors are good. But you just know somewhere in the world, them DJI boffins are flying around the DJI Mini 3. And if you bought the Hubsan Mini Pro and the Mini 3 was released imminently afterwards, I know what I'd be doing. I'd be returning that Hubsan. Now look, it could be good, and if it is, then I hold my hands up, and I can't wait to actually test and fly it. But at the moment, just don't buy it yet. That's my advice. Maybe buy it once it's released and we see a future video, but I certainly wouldn't pre-order it. Take care guys, that's just my opinion. Have fun, bye bye.